my request of my timers, please give them ample time to not break their fingers trying to jump over to flip the switches with the responses. So just give them a second before you. Yeah. Okay. Diana.
Yes.
Question number 1 for this section. Please provide your position and rationale on charter government, including at-large or district-specific representation, and your view on the relative cost of charter versus code home rule compared to the current commissioner system. I will repeat that again. Please provide your position and rationale on charter government, including at-large or district-specific representation, and your view on the relative costs of charter versus code home rule compared to the current commissioner system.
Okay, and I have 2 minutes to answer? Great. As a member of Cecil Land Use Alliance, we did research this issue, and we followed the alternative form of government forum that traveled the county. The commissioners, I believe, allocated $10,000 for this, and it was to educate the public, and then they could choose which form of government they wanted at the end. They chose code home rule when they found out that charter did not allow for impact fees or excise fees. The commissioners at the time voted whether or not to follow the Cecil County citizens' wishes, and there was a tie-break vote that they would not. Once the new commissioners were elected, they quickly put in a charter board. The charter board always seems to be made up of the Chamber of Commerce members, a lot of those members. I do not believe, I can't accept what they're promoting, that this is going to be more efficient and cheaper government. Historically, charter government is more expensive and bigger government with less accountability. So I do not support in district voting, because when a county commissioner is elected, they represent the whole county. So code home rule, I think, makes better sense for us.
I will now give each of the other candidates 1 minute to respond to Diana's answer, starting with Karen.
About 18 months ago, the Cecil County Commissioners approved a charter board, and they've been met for about 15 months and presented a draft charter that will be on our ballot in November. I'm not sure that the issue here is charter versus code home rule. I think the commissioners have made a decision, right or wrong, or regardless of how we feel about that. The issue that will be on the ballot in November is whether we want charter government for our Cecil County community or not. The issue of at-large versus by district voting has something that has been taken out. It will be at-large, simply as exactly like it is here now in Cecil County. And but I would agree with Diana that I think that we need to be very wary of the cost of charter government, and make sure that it does not increase the size or cost more.
Ted, you have 1 minute to respond to Diana's answer.
Well, I agree with both of you. It is a charter commissioner form of government, and I agree with Diana. We should have commissioner form of government. I don't see a change needed, and the costs of this will be, I think, have been left out of the. When I went to the charter board, it was $53,000 would be saving, but it left out a lot of, office jobs. I know the executive will need a staff, and these have been completely left out of it. So I feel a little bit misled by what the charter board has said on how much it will cost, because I can see it being several $100,000 more for a form of government that is not more effective in my mind.
Harry, you have 1 minute to respond to Diana.
I do believe that charter is the way the commissioners said they were going to go, so that's what we have to work with. I'm going to try to get this done real quick. I sent through commissioner form of government with three commissioners, and you could probably get consensus with that. And then I sent through with 5 commissioners, and that was really tough, getting consensus to get 3 people on the same page of music. So that's the reason that I really think that we've got to make some kind of a change so we can move forward. Private industry has a board sitting around them, and they bring everything to the table, but you got one person who's going to make the final decision, and that's a lot less drag time. You can get things done, and if it's not right the first time, tweak it a little bit and make it right, but you don't talk about it for 2 years. Thank you.
Diana, you have 10
10 seconds.
We have 1 minute to respond.
Okay.
Or 30 seconds, excuse me. We haven't gotten to this point yet. 30 seconds.
Okay, Harry, I'm responding to Harry, talking about the consensus. And in some instances, I was very happy that a consensus was not reached, and I think that's part of our checks and balances. And I think that's what really does scare a lot of people about the what is it? The charter, yeah, form of government, that the county executive would have so much power. So.
All right. Terry, you have 2 minutes to respond to the question. Do you have anything else you would like to say?
This original question?
Yeah. And would you like me to repeat it?
I wasn't the one who was asked originally, so do I still get 2 minutes? Okay, thank you. No, I don't have anything to add. Well, I take that back. For over a year and a half, I've been attending the commissioner work sessions. And I can tell you that what we have now isn't working very well. More importantly than our form of government, though, is who we elect. If we don't have good elected officials, then the form of government doesn't really matter. So I'm so encouraged and I'm so thankful that you all are here tonight, because you had a lot of other choices of where you could be. So I thank you for that. But as we look forward for Cecil County Commissioners, or what their job is and what their role will be in the future, what I have seen in the past year and a half is that they go from week to week, putting out fires, essentially. There is very little prioritizing. There seems to be no strategic planning. And we deserve so much more than that. We deserve a government that's going to serve us and represent us as well. So as I look at that, I feel like that there are some changes that need to be made. With all due respect to the current commissioners, I think that the system that they have, being part-time commissioners, does not create an environment in which they can succeed in being our county elected officials. Thank you.
Okay, Ted?
I have nothing to add.
Okay. Harry, you have
Is this like a closing statement or just?
No, you have a
Okay.
minute to respond to what.
Well,
Terry
I did forget one thing. On my second term, we had 5 commissioners on the board, and they split the terms. And that was one of the worst things they ever did, because you always got somebody in there that's running for re-election. Who it may be, I don't know, whoever's in there, you got somebody that's not going to make the right vote because they want to get voted back in for re-election. And that's another reason it was really tough.
That's the way the
Can I say
system
something?
supposed to work.
Yeah, Diane, you have 1 minute to respond to.
They should be making the right vote all the time, Harry. That's basically all I have to say.
Here, here.
Well, thank you.
Terry, you have 30 seconds to respond to anything they've said.
I'm not sure I could.
Ted, you have 2 minutes to respond fully to the question.
Well,
And it's been a while, so I can repeat it if any of you want.
no, I think I got it.
Okay.
Basically, charter form of government, I think, when I first came across my desk, when I started researching it, I had, we had just experienced that, collective bargaining had just been, we did everything we could to stop it from coming through. And then the state just came above us and brought it through over our head. And when I was first, people came to me, I started doing research on charter form of government. A lot of people said it would allow you to resist the state. And I understood that there'd be a lot of extra costs, it would cost more money, and I figured you could offset these costs by stopping the state bullying you around. And I figured I'd rather have a strong local government than, I think government should be bottom up, not top down as it is now. However, when you start doing more research into it, it doesn't stop, it wouldn't have stopped collective bargaining coming in, and it only makes a stronger local government, but it doesn't let you protect yourself against the state. The General Assembly can still come and just push anything over your head, and all you get is a stronger government. The second thing is the cost. When they propose this, they have, like I said, it would save you $53,000, and that's what they left. I asked the charter board how much would it cost, and they said it would break about even. But when you start looking into it, people need a staff, and once you have a staff, worse things get. You say, oh, I need more help, I need more help, I get more things. And it just becomes more and more government. And I think the cost would be hundreds of thousands of dollars more. And what will happen is the commissioners will fade away. And, well, although 95% of the problems with any form of government is the personnel, we got to get good people in there. One of the problems with charter is you have one person in there, and they tend, from the people I've talked to and respect, commissioners fade away, and the executive becomes an agent of the state, and you're much worse off. And I think right now we've gotten to this point with a commissioner form of governor, so we just need to get better ones in there. So that's what I stand.
Yeah. Harry, you have a minute to respond to this if you'd like.
I think I said it all.
Okay. Diane, you have a minute to respond to that statement if you'd like.
Okay. I do agree that the real purpose is to get high-quality candidates. And after being involved in politics for 15 years, trying to make a positive difference, it's so encouraging to see the people that are coming out for the Tea Parties, for this, and that people are now seeing the urgency to get involved. Your government is only as good as those who participate in it. Every one of you has an answer. Not one person has an answer. So I think we can take Cecil County a long ways.
Harry, you have the last 30 seconds on that. If you choose.
My commitment to you is, if elected, I will completely do everything that I can as a commissioner to choose to work with whatever form you choose in the November election.
Okay. Harry, you are the last person to answer this question if you would like your full 2 minutes to add anything.
What have we just been talking about?
Yes.
2 more minutes.
If you choose to use it, yes.
Trick question.
No, I don't think so. We can move on.
Okay, since Harry did not give us a response at that point, we will not rotate around again and make everybody's eyes roll back in their head behind me here.